What's up, Cosmic Fam? It's your girl, Cosmic Jazz 222, and today I am back with another Astro-Tarot breakdown today, and it's regarding the Mercury retrograde that's happening right now in the sign of Sagittarius. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to talk about the transits for a little bit, my observations, and I'm going to be pulling some cards to see what we need to know how to navigate this transit. Now, guys, I know I haven't posted in over a month, and how fitting for me to return back to YouTube during a Mercury retrograde, which I don't think is a good idea, but hey, we are here. Life's been lifing, and I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way. So let me just welcome y'all back, okay? Cosmic fam, welcome back. It's so good for y'all to be here. For those of you guys who are just coming across my channel for the first time, and this is your first impression of me, welcome. Hopefully, I don't scare y'all away. I don't think I will, but I'm not really organized right now. It's okay. Just some disclaimers before we begin. This is just my own intuitive breakdown of the transits in the cards I will be pulling. So this is just a general message. Not every single thing is going to resonate, guys. This is not a personal reading, and that's okay. That's okay. My advice to y'all to best utilize my video: take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Use my readings as confirmation more than anything, and form of insight and knowledge I'm transferring to y'all. So we are good in the neighborhood. Okay, anyways, let's get right into it. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius at 6 degrees. I'm just kind of shocked. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm shocked, but I'm kind of shocked how quick we're feeling this. Like, it's just like a smack in the face. That's the best way to describe it, because there's a lot that's been happening, and I've been observing this, and it's like, whoa, this retrograde is different. It's nothing to be afraid of, because again, we go through retrogrades, Mercury retrogrades 3 times every single year. So this is nothing new, but the fact that it's in the sign of Sagittarius and it's basically conjunct the planet Mars. So we're feeling this transit a little bit more aggressively than normal. So maybe that's why people are a little bit up in arms. Let me just break it down to y'all. So Mercury, the planet of communication, travel, information, the way we think, how we talk, our thoughts, even contracts to a certain extent. This planet is going backwards in the sign of Sagittarius at 6 degrees. Now, I want to point this out because I find it interesting that with Sagittarius, a sign ruling over travel, long distance travel, ethics, morality, philosophy, higher learning, higher education, religion, I find it interesting that there's been a lot of cancellations with flights, or there's been issues with travel. I would say, guys, if I can start y'all off with anything, be careful with traveling, specifically right now. I mean, usually during Mercury retrogrades, people always say, oh, be careful with travel. I'm going to emphasize this: be careful with travel, because if there's delays, or if you're noticing there's blockages, or there's just a lot of cancellations happening, it's for a reason. I literally heard on the radio the other day that a local major airport that I'm nearby is planning to cancel 800 flights per day. And yes, this is dealing with the Mercury retrograde, but it's also dealing with the South Node in Virgo. And I want to point this out because Mercury, as I stated before, is going retrograde at 6 degrees. 6 degrees is a Virgo degree. And technically, Mercury does rule over the sign of Virgo, meaning it currently rules over K2, or the South Node that is currently transiting Virgo. I wish I had the chart up, guys. I might put a snapshot, but I don't have my iPad with me, unfortunately. Pretty fitting, right? But Virgo rules over the workforce, rules over work, our careers to a certain extent. It's a little bit different than the 10th house, but it deals with everyday daily routines. Now, the fact that we're dealing with that energy, part of the reason why there has been cancellations with flight is due to lack of resources, people not being paid, or people losing their jobs, not enough workers working, not enough bodies, not enough resources to keep these airports running efficiently. So of course this leads to cancellation. So if you're noticing there's been uptick in cancellations, or you're planning to travel and then all of a sudden your flight or your plans get derailed, my advice to you: do not be afraid, or don't panic. That's part of the energy. Usually it's for a good reason. So I just want to put that out there. So travel is going to be a little bit wonky for the next couple weeks. And mind you, this retrograde is going to end, I believe, on November 29th. However, we're going to still feel the impacts of it in the post-shadow phase throughout December. So I just want to put that on your radar. Now, another thing that I've been observing and I am feeling is going to manifest throughout the retrograde is the shifts in beliefs, perspectives, especially regarding religion, what's considered ethical, morality, and spirituality. Sagittarius rules all of that. And what I've been noticing lately is a lot of people have been questioning their beliefs. It's going to skyrocket during this retrograde. People wanting to explore other belief systems, people wanting to change their religious beliefs or, become a follower of a different religion or a different spiritual practice. We're going to see an uptick in that. And I wouldn't even be surprised if more people get into learning different cultures, learning about different ancestry. I definitely feel that regarding this retrograde. So if that's something you resonate with, I'm specifically seeing a lot of people wanting to learn more about their ancestry and thus wanting to learn more about the religious or spiritual practices connected to their ancestry. The reason why I say that is, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is currently in the sign of Cancer, which is about, and mind you, I want to point this out. I don't know when, but Jupiter is going to be going retrograde pretty soon. So that's another thing we have to kind of have on our radar. But, Cancer rules over ancestry, our culture, our homeland, motherhood, family. So a lot of people are going to be wanting to tap into their ancestry. Now, on the opposite end, there's going to be people who are going to be so loud about their beliefs and so proud, which again, nothing's wrong with that, but it's going to be to the point where it comes off very aggressive. It comes off as very domineering, and that's tied with Mercury conjunct Mars. Mars is the planet of aggression, of battles, of wars. So we're going to see more of radical, I don't know if that's the right word, but we're going to see more people being very radicalized in their beliefs. Like, oh, this is my belief, and if you don't believe in it, then you're evil, or, you should follow what I believe. We're going to see a lot of that too. So pair that with people wanting to change their beliefs, there's definitely a correlation there. So people are going to be pretty loud with their beliefs, pretty domineering. It's going to be to the point where they don't realize how their own pride or their own domineering presence can skewer truth. So it's like they believe that their perspective is truthful or full of truth, but there's a lot of flaws in it. That's what this Mercury retrograde is really highlighting. The flaws in certain perspectives and in certain truths, because not everything is just black and white, guys. And that's what Sagittarius is all about. Sagittarius is all about expanding your perspective and looking at the big picture. And if you're seeing things as black and white, then, you're going to be met with a rude awakening. Life isn't black and white. Life is actually a huge gray area full of many complexities. Life is complex. So morality is going to be questioned. People's morality, people's ethics, their moral compass is going to be put on the table. Like, are you truly for divine truth, or, is there some hidden agenda underneath? And let me tell you something. Mercury will be transiting back into Scorpio, I think November 19th. So, Mercury's going backwards in Sagittarius. But once it hits Scorpio on November 19th, that's when all the ugly truths come out to play. That's when everything gets exposed, including truths we ourselves have been avoiding, guys. So when we get faced with that, the best thing we can do is not try to understand it right away, but observe, feel it. What is this truth trying to reveal to us? What are we supposed to learn from this? How are we supposed to change as a result? These are some things we have to have in mind, okay? Now, when it comes to communication, people are going to be, so the one thing about Sagittarius energy, people can be blunt. Sagittarius is very blunt. So we're going to see people being a little bit reckless with their mouth. So I would say if you want to avoid any confrontation, it's probably best, especially if you don't want a headache. But again, it's the battles of what's true and what's not true. So people will be willing to argue during this time. Even if they're not in the right, they're going to still want to argue. My perspective is right. Your perspective is wrong. You got to believe what I have to believe. And it can be very tiring. It can be very, very tiring. So, that's something to keep in mind. Now, on the flip side, I know I've been talking about a lot of like negative stuff. Hope popped out. This is technically the star. So I'm seeing Aquarius energy on the table right now. But hope, or the star, what this is telling me, this is actually tying beautifully to my next point. A good aspect of this Mercury retrograde, though, is it's definitely encouraging us to look at all perspectives and to see even past situations, which will be brought up during the retrograde, past situations where we did not understand the other perspective, or we didn't gain closure of another person's perspective. During this time, it's even highlighting where we could have been wrong in certain situations. I would say this Mercury retrograde can be very healing if we choose to utilize the energy properly. It can be very healing. It could be a time of divine insight where we realize, oh, okay, that's why things happen, or that's why this person did this to me, even if it wasn't right. But I understand now. Sagittarius, the mantra I believe is, I understand. So this is a time you don't have to understand something right away, but towards the end of the retrograde or after, that's when things will start to click. It's like, okay, I get it now. I understand why I went through that. I understand why people moved a certain way. This could be a time where you finally experience the closure you've been looking for, the answers you've been searching for. It finally comes to you. It could be through a conversation. It can definitely come through a very blunt conversation. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It could come from a very blunt conversation where there was an argument and someone's true intentions or true feelings come out to the surface, and it could be very shocking, but at the same time, it's insightful. It's eye-opening. It reveals a lot. Yep. It's pretty quick too. We have accelerated motion. This is technically the 8 of Wands. I'm gonna pull more cards. Okay, there we go. And then we got the Hanged Man, sacrifice. I just heard this will be the time where bygones be bygones. This is when you release and you finally forgive. We also have shadow. So again, this is technically the moon. This is tying back when Mercury goes into Scorpio. I think when that happens on November 19th, a lot of truths will come up. The one thing about Scorpio energy, it's so quick to bring things up from the depths, things that have been hidden, secrets. Scorpio loves to do that. It can conceal, but it can bring up some harsh truths. And Sagittarius follows that up with, so how are we going to proceed forward with the truths that have been revealed? Even if it hurts, even if it's shocking, what can we do? A lot of y'all have been waiting. This is actually something you've been waiting for to finally manifest, the answers. So if you've been waiting for answers, if you've been waiting for some form of confirmation regarding a past event, or maybe this is, again, news you've been waiting on in general. This could be dealing with home. I'm getting something about house or home, maybe dealing with finances. So answers with that. If it's regarding your job, because I know a lot of people are questioning, okay, what's going on with my job? I do feel you're going to receive some news or some form of some form of a pathway for you to take so that you won't feel stuck or limited. If it's regarding love, why didn't this situation work out? Or how come love is so hard to find? Why can't I have that opportunity? There's going to be some type of insight coming through that allows you to move forward so that there's more success in that area of life. Friend groups, maybe you're wondering, okay, what's going on? I feel like someone has been acting weirdly. You're going to receive confirmation about this. And I'm hearing past deeds being revealed, past conversations being revealed and exposed. And it's quick. It's like there's no resistance. That's what I'm saying. Whatever has been hidden from you, there's no resistance in it being revealed. It's instantaneous. So that's what kind of separates this Mercury retrograde from the other ones. It's full of truth. It's full of bluntness. It's full of quickness, especially when you add in the Martian energy to all of this. Literally, accelerate motion. I'm even getting, there's something about hopes and dreams. Someone having a manifestation or having a wish, wondering if it's going to ever be fulfilled. I'm seeing something about releasing expectations and seeing how certain circumstances could be limiting that manifestation from coming through. What can you do? What path you can take in order for this to manifest quicker? So another thing I'm seeing is if you've been having issues with your manifestations or you feel like your prayers aren't being heard, you're going to be receiving insight on what you can remove, what you need to release, and what path you need to take in order for it to come in quicker. So a lot of you guys will be realizing blockages. Like if there's certain blockages in your life, this could be with your mindset, this could be with your circumstance, this could be even dealing with people. You're going to see the blockage and there's going to be a moment of making a decision. Are you going to remove the blockage? Are you going to find an alternate path? What are you going to do? So a lot of you guys will be making some decisions, or I guess choosing to sit with a decision before making it throughout the retrograde. Oh, I was supposed to pull from my music deck. Okay, let me do that first before we get into the tarot cards, okay? Let me get a song, channel song for the collective regarding the Mercury retrograde. Interesting. We have We Are Family theme, family over everything. And then we also have, as the overall energy, expectations. Actually, I'm sorry. That's the theme. The song is actually Numb by Linkin Park. So someone here might like Linkin Park, or you like Sister Sledge. That could be one of your favorite artists, or maybe these songs resonate with you. I'm going to read the lyrics. So starting with We Are Family. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we flock just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. I won't tell no lie. That's interesting. Anyways, all of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. And the theme is family over everything. But we also have Numb. I'm tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. And then I wrote the chorus. I've become so numb. I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. Interesting. So what I'm also getting, collective, with the retrograde, I'm seeing a lot of family issues being brought up to the surface. So people could be realizing who their true family is, and I'm hearing it be your own family. Realizing certain family members could be your enemy as well. So it's two sides of the same coin. I'm getting an issue with expectations. So there may have been a situation where you felt like you had to abide by certain standards or expectations, and this could definitely be connected to religious expectations, morality, moral expectations, morals and values bestowed throughout the family from generation to generation. There could be certain expectations or traditional expectations that you had to follow or you were expected to follow, and you're realizing it doesn't fit you as a person. You're meant to be free. A lot of you guys are realizing you're meant to be free. You're meant to explore yourself in a different way compared to those in your family. So I'm definitely getting many people are realizing they're the black sheep of the family, or they're embracing that title. They're embracing, I'm not the same as the rest of my family members. I'm meant to break cycles. I'm meant to break free. I'm meant to explore the world. I'm not supposed to be strapped down to this one location or to this belief. I'm meant to explore the world, and thus I end up exploring myself. So you might, at this time, if you resonate with that storyline, you could be wanting to see the world. But again, traveling during this time, I would not recommend. But I think after the retrograde, you're going to be feeling very encouraged and almost empowered to travel or to explore the world, explore different beliefs, different cultures. And the thing is, when you go through certain trauma or traumatic experiences with family, you realize that you're the only one awake. I don't know who needs to hear that. Someone feels like they're the only one awake and everyone else is asleep. So that's why that last line, you're tired, okay? Become so tired, but so much more aware. You're tired of the cycle. You're tired of the patterns. That it made you aware, it made you awake. So you're the one that's supposed to stop that cycle. That's what the retrograde's about. You're reviewing what has been transpiring, what has been repeating. Even certain problems that were swept under the rug that have been kept a secret. I'm even seeing it could be dealing with mother, grandmothers, aunts, for some of y'all, the feminine. Certain things that have been kept a secret will be rearing its ugly head for someone to address. And you are the one to address it, collective. That's what I feel like for some of y'all. Anyways. Okay, we have the star again. So we have double the star power. Oh, that could be a message for somebody. Someone wanting to be more influential. Someone having star power. But again, it deals with breaking free from expectations, breaking free from limiting beliefs. And definitely seeing a lot of Aquarius energy here. So again, Aquarius, similar to Sagittarius, meant to be free, meant to break down certain barriers. And then we got the Hanged Man. Oh, that's interesting. The Hanged Man showed up twice too. So that's Piscean energy. Pisces, which also is ruled by Jupiter. Okay, Five of Pentacles. What else does the collective need to know about the Mercury retrograde? Jupiter. Oh, I like this. And the Lovers reversed. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So I do see a highlight on resources, specifically with the Five of Pentacles. I know many people right now. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So for those of you guys who are worried about your jobs, you're worried about your career, you're worried about your financial stability and everything that contributes to your survival on a daily basis. So resources. A lot of you guys during this retrograde will be getting huge downloads, huge ideas that will help bring in more revenue. So if your current job, like for example, I know a lot of people are furloughed right now, or their job is not hiring, losing their jobs. If that is your story, or you're noticing your business isn't getting as much clients as normal, this Mercury retrograde is a time for you to brainstorm, but I see it's going to be rapid ideas flowing to you. It's to help you expand your perspective and expand your ideas regarding what you can do and what your potential is. You're not meant to just limit yourself to one thing or to one aesthetic or one service. Let's put it that way. Sagittarius is all about exploring. So I see this will be a good time for research. If you've been wanting to expand your business or provide more services, or you want to start a business, or you're looking for an alternative method of revenue, this is a time to brainstorm, do your research. Sagittarius is all about research and higher learning. This is a good time to start planning. You don't necessarily have to act on anything right now. That's what I'm seeing with the Lovers reverse. The Lovers reverse is a decision, okay? The fact that it's reversed is telling me you don't have to make this decision right away. However, this is a good time to refine everything, review, figure out what can be fixed, what can be adjusted, what can be adjusted. The good news is I'm seeing a golden opportunity being presented, but I keep seeing the mind. It's with your ideas. It's with you researching. It's with you networking, okay? If you are in lack mentality right now, or you're just dealing with, a lack of resources or lack of connections, you're going to be receiving insight on how to acquire more. And I do see a turnaround with the Wheel of Fortune here. Even the star, there's hope here. This all restores hope. So although this retrograde can be a little bit chaotic, let me stop being, it's going to be chaotic. However, there's a positive side to this where it restores hope. They say Sagittarius energy is very optimistic, right? It can be blunt, but there's a level of optimism associated with it. So although you are dealt with a certain hand right now, you're being dealt with a certain circumstance, there's hope here. There's a sense of things will turn around. There is a plan in check. There's a plan at hand, and we can get through this. So that's the energy this retrograde is really bringing in. I really like this. Even the King of Pentacles is telling me, you know, you guys will be taken care of, even financially. There's something coming through that's allowing either more money or more resources coming to you. Now, another thing I'm noticing with this, for those of you guys who are still hurt by a past connection or about trauma from relationships, you will be feeling those emotions coming up to the surface once again. But again, I'm seeing closure. You'll be able to receive closure from this some way, somehow. It could literally be because you and the person cross paths in some way, or there is communication. I don't want to get your hopes up like that though, because that's not going to be everybody's story. For those of you guys who don't receive communication, there's still closure. There's still information coming to you that allows you to change your perspective on everything and allows you to be more optimistic about your future, actually being able to move forward despite maybe the insecurities you're feeling or you feeling left out in the cold. I literally read something earlier today. Someone, I think it was on Threads. Someone was like, dang, how do you get ghosted by somebody that was chasing you at first? I don't know whose story that is, but if that is your story, maybe that was your situation. You're finally moving past it. It's not because of you're not lovable. It's not because of that, and you're realizing it. It's not because you lack anything. It's just, you know, some people have bad communication skills, right? People aren't the best at dating. And, you know, this is a time to reflect on what we could do better and realize sometimes it's not even us, you know, and we just got to keep it moving. So again, staying optimistic about everything. And I'm happy that this is the last retrograde or Mercury retrograde of the year. And we're going to be entering 2026, which happens to be a 1 year instead of a 9 year, you know, and we're going to be entering the year of the fire horse, which ties beautifully with Sagittarius energy. Oh my goodness. So there's a turnaround I'm seeing, but I'm really happy to see that the Wheel of Fortune is here. Yeah, I'm even splitting the deck. 3 of Pentacles. People's work situation will be improving, or there's going to be like an alternative. Okay. Final messages for the collective regarding the Mercury retrograde. That's interesting. Entrepreneur, building your empire. And you see, I literally made this card to showcase someone coming up with the idea, figuring out like how to finance and what needs to be done to build this empire. So a lot of you guys, if you're not an entrepreneur already, you are coming up with ideas and a path, a plan to make it happen, especially in 2026. Okay, we got heartbreak. Okay, and you know, yes, this retrograde is going to bring up heartbreak. It's going to bring up moments where we lost out on things. It might be triggering. However, that can be fuel for your own success story. Let me see what else the collector needs to know. Let me see. Oh no, that's too many cards. One card at a time, please. But law enforcement came out. So I'm wondering if somebody works in law enforcement, or maybe you know somebody that works in law enforcement. Yeah, the intellectual. I'm telling you, whoever is watching this, you guys are very intelligent. And there's a lot of, your ideas are very powerful. Your mind is very powerful. You're a freaking genius. And you guys, some of you guys don't even understand how genius you are. It doesn't have to be in the typical sense. Oh, like you have good grades, or you could be a musical genius. You could be an artistic genius. Someone who is good with their hands, someone who knows how, you know, good hand dexterity, someone who has an amazing voice, you know. You can be a genius in a different way. Okay? But your ideas are being highlighted. So definitely, if you come up with any ideas, make sure you write them down and definitely do your research. Okay. Not now. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me slow down. Okay, Jazz, slow down. All in the Kool-Aid and don't even know the flavor, child. So this is someone being nosy. But then when I looked at the bottom of the deck, we got Family Feud. It be your own family. Didn't I say that earlier? Like I was channeling that message. It be your own family. So this could be family members being nosy about your own ideas and what you're doing in secret. And I did mention like family trauma being brought up. So some of you guys are not on, you're not in good standings with a specific family member. I'm definitely getting, even with childhood, people you knew from childhood, seeing someone being watched from afar. Okay, what else does the collective need to know? We have baby, this is your soulmate. Okay, so, interesting. Hold on. I'm gonna pull one more card. Okay. Oh, so we got inspired, flowing with ideas. Look all of this, all these light bulbs. The light bulb finally lights up for you. Okay. And then the overall energy is chapter completed, lessons learned, you are the master. So a lot of you guys will be finding closure and also completing a major cycle during the Mercury retrograde. And look, we have take that leap of faith. This is going to be afterwards. So this is technically the world in my deck and also the Fool. So definitely take advantage of the ideas that are coming your way. Now, going back to the soulmate energy, for some of you guys, the heartbreak you went through was with a soulmate. It could have been like a karmic soulmate. I'm not even going to put a label on it, but this is someone you possibly have like a strong spiritual tie to. I do feel like the pain, you're going to be noticing it, and it's starting to rain outside. That's insane. So you're going to be feeling the pain some way, somehow. It's a trigger, but it's for you to gain a bigger insight, a bigger perspective on what has transpired and how you can move on from it. Because you're not meant to be stuck. You're not meant to just be crying and being in your bed all the time. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be exploring. You're supposed to be out. Okay? You're completing that lesson. So, oh wow, and I split the deck. We got flawless victory, KO. So this is you completing a very rough cycle. But yeah, you do got people, there's some people that might be watching from afar, like, you know, social media. Maybe seeing like, maybe exes. Yeah, I'm getting like exes stalking your page. Yeah, I just saw monitoring spirit. So yeah, exes, ex-friends stalking your page, seeing what you're doing. And in the meantime, you're going to be coming up with all these ideas and planning for more abundance. And that's going to be your glow up. I feel like 2026 is going to be a major glow up year for many people. Yeah, we have meditate and connect back to self. And then we got boss up. So what you can do at the moment is, oh, we got new love as well. Okay, not during the retrograde, but afterwards. What you can be doing right now is connecting back to yourself, meditating, connecting with your spiritual body. And that's actually going to help with your manifestations as well. Bossing up. You're going to be bossing up, especially in 2026, guys. So have no fear. This retrograde is going to be very insightful. I would say that's the main point of all of this. It's going to be very insightful for many people. A lot of information coming through, but try not to get lost in the sauce. Now, for a final message, let's get some advice. Not everyone will understand your soul. That's interesting. Find people who speak your love language so you don't spend a lifetime translating your soul. So again, there's something about finding what family is, finding out what your true family. Sometimes it's not even your blood related family. It's through the people you meet. It's through the people you meet through travel, through cultures, through shared beliefs, through higher education, especially those who went to college. Like sometimes you find your true soul family when you're out. And the whole point is not to try to translate who you are as a person. The people who are for you will get you. Others, they possibly aren't meant to understand you, and that's okay. And you're probably not meant to understand them. It's just knowing when to leave, knowing who aligns with you and who doesn't align with you. And then we got challenge your beliefs. That's crazy. And you see the books, the research, that's crazy. Your belief systems might be getting in the way of your intuition. Take a step back and evaluate. This is literally Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius in a nutshell. Perhaps your beliefs are limiting you. Maybe this is a time where you want to explore different perspectives. You want to start reading a book on different ideologies. Maybe you want to read self-help books to stop with the overthinking and the rumination, because that could be what's stopping you, you know? So I hope that resonated, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How is the retrograde popping off for y'all? I would love to know. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Bye.